Good morning. This morning I am going to be talking to you on the subject of career development management in the U.S., a macro view. Most of you know me already. My name is Pamela Ravare-Jones, and I'm the Executive Director for International Programs here at the University of Dallas. I hope you find this lecture to be both informative and also beneficial for you as you get ready to move into your next step, MBA, or graduating from the MBA program and thinking about internships or even considering working. So, without further ado, I will get started, and I'd like to begin by emphasizing the fact that this is a macro view. I have a second lecture and it emphasizes a micro view, but this one again is a macro view, big picture, okay? All right, we will be talking about what is career development, why is it relevant for me. This is an individual perspective that you must look at. Remember that your career development may be very different from your neighbor, okay? Based on what country you're from, based on what goals you have for yourself, and what your long-term plans are. So as we go through this, start processing through, how do I want to approach my career development? All right. The art of managing your career to a successful outcome. Most people think that that's what career development actually is. But you notice this word here. It says the catch is to define successful outcome for yourself. This is a key emphasis I want you to take away. What does success mean for you? What does it look like for you? For many people, that answer is going to be different because success may mean compensation. Success may mean that you have a six-figure salary, and that details what you feel makes you successful. Retirement age. Many of you may say, I know I'll be successful if I can retire by the time I become 50. Is it realistic or not? Many people say 65. It depends on what your goals are. But does this dictate to you success? The other area is your title. Do you have some premise, some idea in your mind of what title you need to have in order to feel you are successful? Do you want to be a vice president for a company? Do you hope to be a CEO of a company? Are you okay with being a director over an entire department? What title are you looking for behind your name in order for you to feel successful? The other piece is status in society. Some people look at success and they say, when I'm driving a Mercedes, when I have a big house, when I have a maid, when I have a driver, a personal maid service, is that what dictates success for you? Some of you come from countries where some of these things I just rattled off may be really inexpensive and you can afford that now. But does that really indicate success for you? Think about it. Does society and their approval of you mean that you have become successful? It's another question. The next area, other definition. Do you have a definition of success? If you do, write it down. Decide for yourself what success means. If you've never thought about it before, consider for yourself, what age do you want to be when you retire? What title do you want to have? What status quo do you want to be in? Do these things mean success? Or when you finish your purpose on the earth, is that really what success means to you? And most of you know what I'm talking about because we chatted about that in the management class about identifying your purpose. You guys remember that lecture? Okay. Next one. Career development equals career management. In order to develop something, you have to manage it. And one of the first bullet points here says, to be successful, your career requires an investment. What do we mean by that? You mean you have to put your personal time in it. You have to devote some effort to it. You also have to have focused energies. You need to be very aware of your emotional investment and the personal sacrifice that you're going to put into your career. It doesn't happen overnight, students, and that's the key thing. You have to work at where you ultimately want to be at the end. You must learn to actively manage your career, and you have to nurture that career. It really is emphasis on that word, investment. Anything that is worth having is worth putting into. So invest into your career. The other piece here, the bullet point says, managing your career involves learning, self-reflection, building experience, making key decisions, and impactful action. This is a key piece also because self-reflection is something you need to do. Look inward. Recognize your own potential, your own opportunities that you see for yourself, whether it's here or whether it's abroad. And once you see those, start reflecting. What is it that I'm good at? What is it that I can do in order to advance? And we're not talking job. We're talking career. These are the two distinctly different things. Anyone ever had a job working at a fast food place? That's a job, right? It's not a career. So keep in mind, we're not talking about this short-term, 3 months, make quick money so I can buy some clothes or do something really easy with the money, take a trip. We're talking about managing and investing in your career. And there's a word to the bottom of here. It says it also requires you to change. And one of the hardest things in life is, for all human beings, is to embrace change. However, change is inevitable. It will happen. It always happens. Get ready for it. Change will occur. And as you go into one job, as you move into another, as you move into a career, you will find you must change. You must grow and you must adapt with the environment and with the changes that come with it. Okay? Here's a career phase. This particular chart is divided into 3 different quadrants. What's happening here is that your value to the company or the market is based off of this one equation. It says perceived value is equal to potential plus experiential. Let me repeat that. Perceived value is equal to potential plus experiential. This means that when you're first starting off, the company is going to look at you based upon this. And what are we looking at here? Age. This is age. Let's just imagine that here we're dealing with 20s, okay? In your early 20s. By the time you get to 35, your employer is saying between the age of 20, let's say 25 to 35, you have promise. You have the capabilities that they're looking for. But what happens when you get to 45 and over? Look at this momentum phase. At this point, your employer is starting to look at experience. Not so much anymore your potential to do well. They're looking for, have you executed? What have you done to build the business? What have you done to bring value to the organization? And then if you notice, age 55 on to 65, this is a harvest time. This is when most people, quote unquote, most people think about their retirement. I want to emphasize something else to you. Do you see that there's also a curve that's here? And this curve starts going down. If the experience doesn't match the potential, most people will not stay within that organization very long. Do you find that to be true? Most people must perform. I think all of you have met someone in your lifetime who's been laid off from a job or been out.